Welcome to After Dark Podcast. Before we start this episode, this is the first episode on our second season. And so I just want to thank the production manager, Dean, and Gray, and the other staff that we have working together on this. With that being said, we have a festival next month in March that we are hoping it'll become an annual thing. It'll be at the Ridgely Room in Fort Worth. We'll have a food truck, Fat Face food truck. We'll be there providing food. And I also will have bands, and we're trying to get artists to come. So if you're interested in coming out, we have 2 bands from Austin, 1 band from San Marcos, and 1 band from Arkansas that's going to be coming through to play this festival. So it'll be a lot of fun, all different genres, metal, punk, indie, psych, pretty much acoustic. The first day is going to be mainly like acoustic and blues, so a lot of variety. And if you've been keeping up with the episodes that we've been posting recently, just want to say thank you. And I also want to mention that in kind of collaboration with this project, I also run a more personalized podcast called Hickory Street Podcast. You're welcome to go check that out. I also have a record label called Under Fire Records that I'm sort of been working with Dean on. It's kind of a side thing that we do outside of this. So if you're a band or a musician and you're interested in being on the After Dark podcast show, you can send an email to afterdarkfromtheden@gmail.com. And then if you go online and look up Under Fire Records, it's Under Fire Records 940 on Instagram, and then just Under Fire Records on Facebook. You can kind of check that out and reach out and send us some music. I'd be really interested. And so I just want to say thank you to everyone here. And right now in the studio we have Sour Starhead from Denton, Texas. And if you're interested in buying tickets to the festival, you can go on to the After Dark podcast page, and there's a ticket link you can go to and purchase a ticket. But anyways, thank you, Sour Starhead, for being here. Why don't you guys go ahead and just introduce yourself and kind of say a little bit about how you guys met, and let's and then just introduce the first song and we'll go into it.
No, rock and roll. My name's Noah. I play guitar and I sing.
My name's Gary, and I also sing, and I bass.
I sing, and I bass. That's good to know. Speaking to your little your snare mic.
Hello, I'm Riley, and I drum, and that's what I do.
He says his name's Riley, and he plays drums.
Me and Noah met at Colin a few years back, and then we met Riley on this website.
Yeah,
what website was it?
It was a band mix because I needed to find a drummer, and like half it's like 50-year-old dudes that have like ponytails and cowboy hats, and I'm like, I just want to play some Texas dirt rock, and I'm like, nah. So luckily I found Riley, and then I just cold hard messaged him on Instagram, and I was like, hey, I'm not trying to be weird, but if you left your Instagram, so I could text you, so we should totally jam together sometime. And then I invited him over to my apartment. And
this is back when we had her set up in our apartment.
Yeah.
So we would literally like have practices.
Yeah, full on, like in a two, like I mean, like
we were on the bottom floor, so we got away with it. But if we were on the like second, anything else, we would have been shut down. So
Yeah, I mean.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, like, and I mean, like, we were doing like full volume practices, like we
yeah,
weren't.
that shit got loud sometimes.
Jeez.
But we had like an 8 p.m. cutoff that we respected, and our neighbors were super cool about it.
Yeah,
so.
surprisingly, we had a lot of our neighbors like, pretty much like, oh, are you guys the band? You guys sound so good, you know, like
They were so nice.
expected and
You were the band of the complex.
Yeah, like, and our dog got out one time, and this chick was talking to us, and we're like, oh, hey. She was like, oh, are you guys the band? We're like, yeah, we're so sorry, we're so loud, like, hope it's not disturbing you. She's like, oh, you guys aren't even my worst neighbor. That asshole that lives above me, fuck that guy. I was like, all right, yeah, fuck that guy. We're cool, sweet.
That's funny. Well, what's the name of this first song?
This one is Doomsday Procedure, written by our very own beautiful Gary Robbins. It's off our upcoming EP, Snafu.
just released it as a single actually
Yeah,
a few weeks ago.
and
couple
music
weeks ago.
video last week.
And
Thanks
a music video.
thank you, Attic Space, by the way. Love you, Abraham. He's such a great visual artist, and we are going to keep working with him. But the whole theme of the EP is kind of World War II-y, fucking throwing grenades in trenches and shit and dying. So without further ado, this one's Doomsday Procedure.
was great.
It felt good to be alive. Felt really good to be alive right there.
So, as you were playing, I was just trying to think of different kinds of music that I've listened to in the past, and your style really resonates with a very younger version of myself because I was so obsessed with post-hardcore whenever I was growing up. Like, I got really into Fugazi.
Dude, I just started, like, literally, no joke, last night, I, like, started actually peeking through Fugazi stuff.
Really?
Yeah, dude, they're fucking tight.
They're probably, like, my favorite band. I mean, just the ethos in general. I mean, they were a band in the late 80s, and they came into the music scene around the same time that grunge blew up.
Yeah.
And they were just as popular as a lot of the grunge bands. And they were doing stuff that the grunge bands started doing, kind of around the same time. Like, they're a very interesting band from the standpoint that they, even though they had a lot of like noise elements, because another band that you guys kind of remind me of, I think more, it's actually like kind of a closer comparison is a band called Unwound. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of them. So they're a noise band. So if you look at their Wikipedia page, they're classified as a noise band, but really they're a post-hardcore band too, and in a lot of the same ways that like Helmet and I don't know if you ever heard of the band Quicksand, but Helmet, Quicksand, they were sort of all in the same genre, but Unwound is kind of been forgotten about, but they came from like the Seattle area, and they were really popular for like a good, 4 or 5 years, right? But compared to the other bands like Jawbox and Helmet and Quicksand, they didn't get nearly as much attention as them, so they kind of fell off of the radar. Not a whole lot of people knew who they were. But that genre in particular was just like really influential on me, and was just such a nostalgic like feeling listening to you guys play because I know that my 17-year-old self would be all about this.
Rocking out this cock out. I can dig that. I think we kind of sound like that just because like I grew up listening to like a lot of Slipknot. Like I have a Slipknot tattoo on my chest. Like I when I was 18, but like I also don't have Corey Taylor vocals, so I kind of have to like make it work somehow. But I mean I'm also like a super big stoner rock guy. Like I really like Queens of the Stone Age. Uncle Acid's my favorite band of all time, and just kind of like basically trying to make stoner but like more metal, but not as like Electric Wizardy, because that's just kind of like a little too far for me, because it's like, all right, yeah, you're playing power chords and all that jazz.
Yeah.
But,
Post-hardcore is an interesting genre because it sort of diverged from the late 80s, early 90s, and it kind of became something that pop punk artists started to get really influenced by. And so you have this weird spin-off with post-hardcore. You notice that a lot of post-hardcore elements are actually rooted in grunge music, because a lot of the post-hardcore bands were actually doing what Buzz Osborne from the Melvins was doing, essentially, by taking metal and turning it into something a little bit more doom sounding.
Yeah, with that heavy kind of like single coil fuzz tone, and making it sound like so blown out and awesome.
Right, like using Black Sabbath elements and turning it into something much darker.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And so post-hardcore did that in a lot of ways, but then post-hardcore, as I was like like in my early 20s, it kind of became some like balancing composure, and kind of turned into what some of the screamo bands sort of like. A lot of that stuff kind of crosses over.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
No, totally.
But like the the like Fugazi though in particular, they kind of just kept going and started adding so many different elements.
Yeah,
to their,
dude,
to their
I skipped
sounds.
around their albums and it was just like the array of sounds that they get from just writing a different album. I know it sounds stupid and very obvious, but like they do it so fluidly,
right.
because they're like the first one that I was looking at, the one that came out in like '89, was like punk, raw, and then I was listening to like almost like a kind of piano ballady one that's like one of their top songs. I was like, what?
Yeah.
They kind of hop around, but they do it well.
Yeah, they're very talented guys. But, it's funny you were mentioning Queens of the Stone Age because some of those kind of radio-friendly rock bands took a lot of elements from post-hardcore.
Oh, yeah.
And the, just grunge in general. And they kind of packaged it in a more accessible way. Like, I would say System of the Down was very much, influenced by that same kind of movement.
I can totally see that with System of a Down, just because their first album is just so wacky and kind of
Right.
just like they're like singing, but it's like these like weird shuffle beats and like a lot of what I mean. Not always super distorted guitars like they've gotten to be known for. With.
I don't know. I never really dove down the hardcore path. I kind of was really into grunge, and like Alice in Chains is a pretty good.
Same.
Okay, yeah.
Love
Example
Alice.
of
That's
that.
my favorite.
Yeah. So you're a grunge guy. Riley, are you? What's your music taste? I have noticed that drummers have that a lot of times they play in bands where their music taste is so different from what the band actually is. So I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, I don't. It's hard to choose a favorite. Like, I really enjoy jazz a lot. I think the musicality in that is something that's very hard to replicate in other genres.
Yeah.
But I'm also very into, like, you were talking about Uncle Acid. When we first started talking together, he showed me that band, and I was like, yes, I dig this. And King Gizzard is one of my favorite bands.
I definitely hear that come through in your
Yes.
music too. That's cool.
You probably will continue to hear that.
Yeah,
Yes.
because we have one song where it's like, how hard did we rip it? No, I mean we didn't like rip the lick, but it's like very, very stylistically, it's very, very similar.
Well, awesome. Well, let's go ahead and go into the next one. You said you have an EP out now, right?
Oh, we're in the process of
Finishing it up.
I'd say another month, hopefully.
I'd say about a month.
Maybe a month and a half till it's out.
All right.
Hopefully.
Snafu baby
We
situation.
do have
moment.
a single out, which was the last song we played, Doomsday Procedure. So
And if you want to hear it,
it's on
perfect. It's
pretty
on
much
on
all
Spotify.
platforms, I think. Spotify, YouTube,
Okay.
the whole shindig.
Shazam,
Awesome.
Pandora.
Damn, dude, it's on Siri Music.
It's on Napster, dude. So keeping with the whole same kind of theme, this one's called Bomb Threat.
Find me wrapped in glass, slowly falling down. I wanna know where they'll go. Every little thing that piles up comes crashing down. I wanna know where they'll go. Trying to fight it, this time has been biting. Every time I see you, I know what you've been doing. So I'll die right here now, my friend. You say that you're dying, I'm trying to hide it. Every time I see you, I know what you've been doing, so I'll die right here now, my friend. Find me out in glass, slowly falling down. I wanna know where they all go. Every little thing that piles up comes crashing down. To fight it, this time that's been fighting. Every time I see you, I know what you've been doing, so I'll die right here now, my friend. You say that you're dying, I'm trying to fight it. Every time I see you, I know what you've been doing, so I'll die right here now, my friend.
Yeah, that one's a quick one. I'll tell you that. We're just saving all the long dramatic ones towards the end. That way, it's like, oh my God, they're like really thinking about it.
That's awesome. So, have you guys been taking a break from shows, or you guys still been booking through the holidays?
We actually, we did take a break from shows. I mean, we played Bad Dad Jokes last show. They're
I did see that show happening. That was I didn't realize they were finally calling it quits.
yeah, because I think Carter's doing like New Avenue stuff, and I saw her playing bass in there, and they all just have their own stuff. Rogers and Dust, Samfars and Havnir. I always fuck up their name so hard. I always get them swapped because it's like they're two-word names. I'm sorry if I fucked it up, but I mean they're all crazy talented musicians, and they're all so busy musicians. Like I don't know how they do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, playing. I've had lots of friends that all they do is just play in multiple bands, and the most I could manage myself was like 2 bands, and even then I felt like I was always half-assing one of them. So I don't know how they do it, but it stinks. That's another good local band that
It's gone.
Yeah,
It's gone.
They're gone.
They're gone forever.
But well, so do you have shows booked?
We actually do. We have one that we're pretty excited about. It's with Maestro Mea at Same Brain, and I don't know it's a Japanese like avant-garde punk band. What's their name? All right, I'll take that answer. We don't know their name, but we're playing. Where are we playing? The Post in Fort Worth on what date? 3/14. You heard it from this guy's lips, through mine, and into this microphone and XLR cable. That one's gonna be a really fun show, man. Honestly, just because the guys in Maestro Mea are we played with them last June, and they just showed us so much love, and they're like literally so good at setting atmosphere in the music. They're fucking badasses.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard of that band. What was the other band on the bill?
Same Brain.
Same Brain. That band, I heard of them like 3 or 4 years ago. I didn't realize they were still around. That's cool.
Yeah, and they don't have anything released, so I didn't get to take a gander at their music, which I honestly think that's kind of fucking badass. They're just like, no, we're just playing shows. Like,
Yeah,
rock and roll.
I mean that's a really good way to do that, in my opinion, especially now, just because whenever it comes to releasing music, a lot of the times you can like be too accessible as a band, and people stop listening to you because, you know, especially with bands that only release singles.
Yeah.
I have noticed that the more frequent listeners, if they really enjoy your music, they would like a little bit more than just a single, you know.
Yeah.
So, but that, you know, that's cool. Whenever they ever do decide to release something, I mean, I'm sure they're going to have a good audience.
Oh
for
yeah,
it,
and it's
so.
gonna just be because I met Gabe in college as well, and I mean 2018, and that dude was rocking a Same Brain sticker on his Jeep. And like, you know, I know they've been playing shows like sporadically, but you know, I haven't even seen anything like that. And I think, yeah, like you were saying, like being too accessible is kind of it almost a turn off. Being exclusive, people like feeling special.
Right? Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
People are like, oh,
Yeah.
I know about this band. You know? What the fuck?
Yeah, there's a term that I heard recently on a podcast that I thought was really interesting, and it's radical exclusion. So, but anyways, so what's the name of this next song, and where can we listen to you guys again? Just remind the listeners.
Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music.
Apple Music.
Text me if you want the demos. I mean, but
Trying to
that-
get CDs up so we can sell those
Yeah.
at shows, but it's
Yeah.
a process. It's a bit of a process.
yeah, it's you know, albeit
But we do have an EP out called Scraps that we put out a while ago.
a while ago.
It's just our intro, kind of like, yeah, this is us. We've got music, but you know,
It's
it was
not-
a while back, so it's all we got right now, except for the new single that we just released.
it aged like a Miller Lite after a long night of partying, where you're like you don't want to drink it, and you're like, oh, it's kind of flat. That's about how it aged.
I mean, some people are into that, man.
I would be. I would be if I was trying to cure a hangover. I would totally do that. No, but this next song is called Change. It's a little bit more loosey goosey chill until it gets to not be chill. So let's kick her off.
That was the best way to say that.
Yeah, right. This song is called Change.
You said you'd love. I say goodbye. This time we've spent will never die. And I take your hand to let you down. Don't you forget. I can't see with my eyes. I don't bleed every time. Yeah, I guess I'll run away. Don't you say another word. I know it's all absurd. I guess I'll run away. guess I'll run away. Don't you say another word, I know it all turn. So I guess I'll run away. Said you'd love, I say goodbye, and this time we've spent will never die, and I take your hand to let you down. Don't you forget.
Yeah.
Your cab's dead, dude. Your cab's dead. I'm sorry. Huh?
Well,
Well,
so I've asked a couple of Denton bands this, but I remember Gabe talking about how he threw a house show once. Have you guys participated in any house shows?
we have. We played at West Oak House or
Slash Randy's.
/ Randy's. We'll just call it Randy's and just forget that I said a street name. But yeah, we just want to put a beep on that. That'd be sick. But yeah, we played there. Honestly, not one of our best shows, just because like I don't know, we just didn't have the sauce that night.
It was technical failures and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, like my guitar, I had just gotten these. This originally had humbuckers, so I just got it rewired, and the wiring was all fucked up. And then his kit was like falling apart for some reason. And then Gary was just a beautiful little angel that did everything right. But not tonight, buddy.
That's funny. Well, yeah, I've been very disconnected from the house show scene for a while now. So I have not been to a house show in a very long time, but whenever I stopped going to house shows, they all started to shut down. So I've always just been curious about like Denton bands and how they feel about doing house shows now, because
I personally like.
each band is a little different now, I've noticed.
I'm gonna let you take the ring because he actually is like big into the house show.
Well,
set
I
record.
live there, so I
Oh.
kind of help. Yeah.
He lives at Randy. Who's Randy?
I do like the house show scene. I think a couple years ago, or maybe like around 2018, 2019, it was a lot bigger than it was now. And we've been kind of slowly building kind of since COVID. But right now, it's a pretty good time. There's a bunch of houses popping up and a lot of bands taking advantage of that. When we have our EP release show, probably in like April or something, that will be a house show. And that'll be really fun. And
Awesome.
so I don't know. I like it. It's not everyone's favorite, but yeah.
Well, it's also kind of weird just because I didn't realize this before, or I guess maybe just I don't know. It seems like it would be a thing before, but like I've noticed that everything's kind of segmented. Like there's different house shows for different genres. Like there's different house because they live next to like kind of like an EDM kind of ravey house, and they actually we borrow sound equipment from there, like monitors and speakers and. But I'll tell you this motherfuckers all like they'll have a show the night before. We'll go pick up the gear, and that shit is like spotless. Like they like clean that house. It's so crazy. But
Wow.
yeah, I don't know if that was a thing before, but yeah, everybody's kind of everybody's found their own little niche.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's cool. So go ahead and just introduce this last song and take us out.
This one, don't worry, it's not one of those things where we're just playing it for the first time. We just don't even have a title for it, but we love playing it. We think it's a sick riff. But we call it Banana Mix. It goes banana, banana. So this one's called
That Tolly Hall song, Banana Man, you know what I'm saying?
but not as good and not as
Literally not the same at all. It's-
not the same at all, and not gonna make us any fucking money.
Dude, covering Banana Man by Tolly Hall. We should do that.
All right, you ready?
That's your sweet pippy, I am.
I thought it was gonna hit Earth.
Delicate Steve.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you for watching After Dark from the Den. That was Sour Starhead.
And that is Michael Zamora.
And that is an awfully hot coffee.
No, seriously, just thank you for everything you guys do for the community. You guys are badass. Thank you.
Thanks.